My sweethearts, our story today is about two people who were brought together after a long absence. It is clear that our hero Shaw was not prepared for this coincidence at all. Let me tell you from the beginning. The matter began when our heroine, the journalist Tian, met her colleague Shaw, who had become a well-known businessman. She said to him, "Don't you remember me? I am just a school Nyan who forgot the good times. Meet me now, for the sake of these days." He looked at her with disgust and left without even saying, "I am not here today, my dear." Our hero knew from his secretary that she was still scheduling calls and booking appointments, but he lowered his head and said to Saif, "There are no appointments." He was busy on a call with his mother, who wanted him to bring bananas and strawberries on his way back from work. At that moment, we realize that our hero, unfortunately, does not feel anything, meaning he does not know how to express his feelings. He walks by a book that knows facial expressions, when to laugh and when to frown. However, his face is usually a poker face. Don't understand if he is sad or happy. Let's go now to a big villa that was prepared, and she stopped it. She knew he would come, and at that moment she met a girl who was teasing him with the invitation in her hand, and he kept saying to her, "You poor thing, you are not going to come in. In addition, this party needs active people who drink, and you are very conservative, and you do not drink. Glory be to God. This is the first time I see a girl who is treated to something like this. Come on, never mind." Anyway, a guy suddenly appeared saying that her fiancé came with the invitation in his hand, took it, and entered the party stubbornly in the end. At that moment, we stopped him. He sent a message to her telling her that he agreed to the meeting, so she was very happy and said there is no better achievement than this. But she did not leave her alone and put something yellow in her juice. She was completely fed up with it at the time when a thorn entered her hands. The shock was that he changed his mind and would not do the meeting. Although he originally intended to make her happy, he broke her joy like this anyway. When she saw him, she kept getting closer to him in a strange, suspicious way, afraid of her. And then she went out on stage and exposed him in front of everyone present when she said to him, "Sorry, Shaw, if you still had that love letter you wrote to me during school, it was full of spelling mistakes and your punctuation. You're going to hell, but your kindness didn't mean for the whole school to see it." And on the bulletin board, she kept apologizing, and a secretary took her and walked her, and they stopped. He went to the bar to drink. Even though he doesn't drink, the effects of drinking came back to him at once, and he regretted drinking at that moment, and he wasn't the only one who regretted it. By God, when she first woke up in the morning, she found him sleeping next to her, and it seems that funny things happened. She made a sound and woke him up, and they both were not able to comprehend the disaster that happened. He looked at himself in the mirror, and then he said to her, "I'm not sure. I'm his twin brother. Don't feel guilty because I'm different from the one you think I am." Honestly, she didn't believe it at first, even though she knew that Shaw had a twin brother, but she was sure that his brother was a twin when she called Shawi and found that he answered her, and she didn't know that he was his secretary. "My dear, the one with her now is Shawi, and he's just kidding to piss him off." So she said to him, "Look, if you convince your brother to meet me so I can get a promotion at work, I won't ask you for anything, and I'll forget everything that happened between us. Basically, my wedding is today, so consider that I've forgotten you from now on." Oh my God, is Nazmi her fiancé? Did he ask for her hand or what? No, wait a minute. Nazmi is a character who used to do the same shameful and sinful thing with his girlfriend, and he sent her a message telling her that there would be no wedding and our love would not last. Without thinking, she took her wedding ring and ran after Shawi, whom she thought was his, and said to him, "Marry me, Captain." Of course, what would they say? Crazy people like this, my dear. Our heroine, marriage is a deal. Even Nazm, who left her, she didn't marry him out of love for him. Her mother made a condition on her that no work will be completed until she gets married and covers up. So she brought her friend to marry her to get rid of this dialogue, and this is a divorce on the wedding day, so she has no solution now except for Shaw's twins. So she told him the whole story and said to him, "I am talking to the person inside you who wouldn't tolerate a delicate girl like me losing her future. Would you be happy for my future to be lost between me and you? You man, the man doesn't care about a future that will be lost or not lost." The story and what's in it is that the secretary is the one who put them in one room because the hotel rooms were finished, so he is also responsible for what happened, and he has to be a good man with her. And the biggest reason is that she is threatened with pictures of him that are not real at all. She says she has them on her mobile, so maybe the poster of her wedding that is in the box has changed from the joy of Nyan and and Nazmi. For the joy of Nayan and the guests, they lived normally that the groom changed on the wedding day, and they said to her, "Congratulations, my dear, whoever the groom is," until her mother came to see who the new lucky one is, and she was thinking that he had a stable job, and his circumstances were good, and she found him saying to her, "I swear to God, my mother-in-law, my father died, and he is unable to work," before Nian pinched him and made him repeat the words and say what they agreed upon. So her mother was happy with her daughter's groom and said to her, "This is beautiful, my dear mother, and more beautiful than the one before him." By God, you will ask me, where is the logic? I will tell you there is no logic. Otherwise her mother would not have come to him until the wedding was in hospital clothes. There is something you need to know, which is that Shawi laughed at his mother as well and made her understand that his brother, Lu, so as not to drag her into anything, so our second heroine became someone to laugh at and made him understand that Lu, as for his mother, she was very happy with her son, the groom, and with the sweet offers and her mother and all. Something happened quickly and our heroes got married according to the agreement, but in the middle of the joy like this, Shoy remembered his last day at university when Nian came and confessed her love to him and said to him, "Don't talk about us, Moon," because the moon was not her, but he didn't know what to say, and he was content with leaving her an answer on the table and running because he was lazy and didn't even know how to express his feelings. And then there was no limit to him. God was the one who posted it, his answer and his exposure in front of the party, so I remember that she was the one who published it and intended to celebrate it. We return to the rest of his thoughts and go to continue the joy that was going to happen when he first organized. He broke into the joy and said, "This passport will not be completed." The mother of the groom and the mother of the bride did their duty and expelled him from the place so that the joy would go well. He then took an oath on his tongue because she was the one who sold our heroine her picture with him, and she was the one who told her that there was no joy. It is clear that Nazmi would not remain silent about what happened, and at that time our hero found out by chance that this was what happened. She threatened him with his picture. It was a threat against you and there was no picture at all. He said he would get out and there was no need to continue this nonsense with her, but he found her telling him to go back on what was on his mind and come on, let's continue the game and divide the rent between us, since you are a liar. The liar agreed, but not because he was a liar, but because he knew that his mother would visit him tomorrow. He found himself forced to continue this game. The next day, when he actually visited them, our heroes acted romantically and lived a great love story in their small house. He reassured their mothers about them, but all of that changed as soon as the mothers-in-law left. Nian found him entering her room without any rules. He said to her, "Since we are going to live together, do not cross your boundaries with me and do not consider me in the house at all." After 9 o'clock, he did not hear yourself in the house, she said. "If I had asked for a groom online, he would have treated me better than this." She sat distracted by her fish, which, by the way, was annoying you in the house. She said to him, Your brother was dying in the fish and you are coming out as a marble, not good and cute like him." So as she said, he was sitting and saying to the fish, "You are cute," meaning it saw a human being in him, but he did not find a way out except to stay with her. Otherwise his mother would die of grief, so he said he would do an interview with her and God will decide. He called the secretary and told him, "It seems we all got into this conversation and God help us in the atmosphere. I am not generous. I am the generous one who made it." In the morning, he woke up and made her a delicious breakfast, to the point that when she saw him, she was afraid that he intended to poison her. But he said to her, "Come on, let's open a new page and live together for these 3 months in peace." He got up and we satisfied our families, and then we said we did not agree, which happens normally in the best families anyway. So she said to him, we agreed, and she told him that this good version pleased her more than his bad version. And she also asked him if he could help her with the questions she would ask his brother in the interview or something. If he tells her information about him, she says to her, "No, it's clear that you study very well, so don't worry, you're great anyway. I have a lot that I haven't seen at all." He got completely out of the conversation and went to cover the bruise that was accidentally hurt on his head with makeup. So she said to him, "No, it's not you, I'll help you." She started training her with makeup, but as soon as her eyes met his, she said, "It seems the matter will not be simple at all, so get out of it now before the matter escalates, and we are still in the first day." She said goodbye and went to ride a motorcycle and walk, but she met her mother's husband and he kept saying, "Congratulations, my dear father." She said to him, "I don't don't care, father, and stay away from me and my mother, who you are bankrupt all the time." He broke her mobile phone out of anger, so she pushed him away and left, and she would settle the score with him later, but unfortunately, she was late for the interview and it was cancelled. She was the one who did it in her place, so she returned home depressed and sad. On top of her sadness, her stepfather came to her again and said, "If you ever stand in my way regarding my relationship with your mother again, I will never let you go." But when he raised his hand against her, our son told him, "No girl should be deaf to girls, man." He stopped her and took her inside to put cream on the wound she had sustained from the fight. He told her that she was the first girl he had seen fight, even if she came out with losses. She said, "No, I brought her from the bottom, and in this world, she must learn to hit, even if she has to hit." He admired her wisdom and her strength, and it was difficult for him when she showed him the wound on her legs, the wound when she was running after him and wanted to have a conversation with him and fell. He said, "If she knew that I was a shore and that I was the reason for her humiliation, she would fry me in a fish-like dish on Eid." He also put cream on her knee. Honestly, the girl does not feel any pain because she is collapsing emotionally from your charisma now, so she does not have time to feel any feelings. A second, but she drowns. As for him, remember the time when they accused him at school of killing her fish because they saw him as cold as ice, and she was the one who came and defended him and said that he is a poor man who does not know how to step on an ant, and she started hitting them specifically for his sake, and both of them were punished. Now let's go to our heroine, whose life was not good at all, and her boss the next day upset her when he called her a failure and shook her, and he was also going to expel her because she failed in the interview and she could not believe she found a job. On top of all of this, her mother called her and told her that Uncle Tata loves her and, God willing, our life will be better, but you have pure intentions towards him. So she became evil and a destroyer of pleasures in the eyes of the entire series. As for our hero, he was in his car on the way to the company, but his mother threw him with calls and kept asking about his brother, the handsome man whom she loves no one but him, so he told her, "Don't worry, where is he, Mom?" The lady didn't even notice that his voice was not good because he was tired. He had to take the necessary medicine, so he felt at that time that it was really worthless. But when he arrived at the company, took the medicine and rested a bit. He went down again and found our heroine in front of the gate, drunk and apologizing for being late for the interview. She told him what happened with her stepmother's husband, so he told her, "It's none of my business." He was about to leave, but she kept telling him to agree for the sake of their old friendship, even though she knew him well, that he was kind and had a heart, contrary to what everyone was saying. So he left and walked for 5 seconds, then came back, picked her up and put her in his car so that she wouldn't be bothered. While she was resting his shoulder in the car, he was reading her notebook and saw how much she had prepared for the interview and collected data about him diligently. So he asked his secretary to see her work interviews and what problems she had. At night, Saleh's husband was sitting, wiping off her makeup while she was sleeping. He carried her, and then she woke up for seconds and sat crying and said to me, "Oh God, I work hard and fail, and people try hard and succeed. What is it that is done to me, or that I work hard wrong?" So he stopped patting her and telling her that he is with her and that everything will pass. She said to him, "Even this is not permanent. You will only have 3 months and you will choose, and I will not find anyone to remove my makeup." Oh, the black feeling. I mean, the boy still does not know what to do. This volcano of hormones opened up in him all at once, and he kept patting her. Maybe she will feel better. Honestly, she was right, and our son has feelings and emotions, and everyone misunderstood him. That is why he was very surprised by her the next day when she told him, "I am done with my job and I lost it because of the interview that went wrong. See when your mother will get better so that we can leave each other as soon as possible. And between you and me, he was teasing you and did not want to leave her or lose her job, so he sent the secretary to work again. One day, to tell her manager that Shaw Bay didn't like the interview and wanted to redo it, but not with his girlfriend or with Nian, whom no one in the magazine could stand. The manager agreed since it was a promotion, and her girlfriend hated Nian even more. As for Nian herself, at the wedding, she wasn't happy and didn't believe that he asked for her by name. She went to meet him in the escape room, which he designed, and told him that she wanted to try it herself before they started the interview. He agreed and dressed her in the game's clothes and went in with her. She basically turned out to be afraid of the escape room and anything scary. She stayed clinging to him for a while, and in the end, she hid in his arms because she was afraid afraid of the genie. After that, the two of them hid in the closet because the young lady was afraid. So she said to him, "So why are we hiding like this, Kamar? Talk to me about yourself and tell me why you run away from people." He said to her, "No, I don't run away from anyone. But what they don't know is that he won't be able to run away from her." She said to him, "I know you well, and I know that you are different from what everyone says about you." Before he could deny anything, the cupboard shook under them. She immediately hugged him out of fear, and he kept patting her. His niece was naughty with him. Anyway, they both went back home together. She was very surprised that Shaw Bey, who was entering her house for the first time, knew the way to the kitchen and the cups. She said, "Sorry, maybe Zaki will be a little bit." They both agreed to postpone the interview because she was very nervous from the escape room. But before he left her house, he received a phone call that his mother had escaped from the hospital. He ran outside without saying anything. After a while, we found his mother knocking on the door. "Really, Auntie, how did you two not meet?" Tosh was on the stairs. "Come on, sorry, the director wants this." Anyway, when she found her aunt in front of her, she told her, "Come on, let's go get a cake." She sent Lulu to tell him, "Your mother is here. I will take care of her and you come." The house was tidied up, so they actually left the house, and he took off his suit, hit his t-shirt, and took off his clothes, and started removing anything in the house that showed that their marriage was in you. Then, right away, she and his mother came, and the three of them had dinner together. She stopped being nice and she told them, "Let's call Shawi to have dinner with us." But Mama refused and told her, "He's always busy and he won't come anyway." He got very upset that his mother was thinking about him that way, and he remembered the moment when he told her the first time that if she got very tired, and he knew that she would be upset when she woke up and didn't find his brother, and she didn't need him. So from that moment, he started acting both roles because his brother wasn't there. Wafa left this tape of memories on Nian, who had drunk and would keep saying that their marriage was in you. So he wrote herself like this and told her, "Sorry, Mama, the madame is a bit tired and I'll take her to the room." But Mama refused and spread out on the couch, and our heroes were forced to sleep in the room. Only one, our drunk heroine, pulled him towards her and started rambling about whatever happened today, and that she met his brother who seemed silly but was kind inside, and that her conscience was not clear, meaning that she was married to his brother and didn't say anything. The strange thing is that she is really thinking about him, but her looks, if they were looks of strong love, made the girl feel confused and perplexed. She got up from her place and changed the subject and said to him, "Look, my work is coming back and your mum is still sick, so come on, let's complete our marriage." We agreed and went on with the world and forgot all the things I said before and got rid of him and the stupid things I said. He agreed because he basically likes to stay with her and also really likes her look about Shaw, who is the same only when he puts gel in his hair and hits the glasses. As for her, she wanted to relieve the tension since they will sleep in one bed, so she said to him, "Why don't we watch a horror movie?" I am very brave. Of course, she doesn't know that he caught her and knew that she was lying, so he pretended that he was the one who was afraid to encourage her and reassure him that her loyalty would decrease, and that is what actually happened. He was really enjoying himself while watching the movie with her, and in the morning when he woke up and found himself sleeping next to her, he kept staring at her face like that, as if he was happy that he finally woke up to something beautiful, and he deceived himself and said that he would touch her hair to remove it from her face, not for any other goals, I mean. But at that moment she woke up and said to him, "What is it, boss? What is it?" And then his mother walked in on them, and he hugged her with all his strength so that the woman would not notice that they had fallen asleep together, and then he made her understand that he was counting her hair. Anyway, the next day, our heroine had an important meeting with a client and her manager, and she went with her. Both of them were frankly taken, and the eldest of them drank from the manager, and she started cursing her with the man, and he took her out like any evil client in a Chinese TV series. He drank it with pleasure and stayed in a place with them and turned off the light so that no one would catch him, and he was intending to do things that deserved to be hung on his ear. But our heroine had a loud voice and shouted, and God willing, the all-knowing wills that our hero remains aimlessly passing by the place. So he went inside and extended the blanket to hang it, and hugged her and patted her and calmed her down. And after all this effort, she said to him, "Finally, you came, Lou." Even though he came to her like a slap in the face and he was on your hand, and she put on Vaseline, but she imagined him to be her because for her he was someone she felt safe with. But he saw that he had identified her with his twin, and now he had identified her with his other personality, so we can say that he went crazy and started changing himself. Anyway, after he took her and left, ex-Nyan came to him in public after he knew what happened. I don't know where, by God, but he knew, and that's it. And he sat blaming Geeta for letting our heroine be exposed to this ridiculous thing. So she said to him, "It's true that I'm not the same as the aunt or the same as the aunt, but I'm a girl like her, and I don't want what happened to her, and I didn't know. Even the client will extend with her like this, but for your information, I reported to the police because I am a zero, yes, but I am honest, and I do not like injustice." Anyway, at that time, our heroine woke up after she had a nervous breakdown and fainted, and when she woke up, she found him standing next to her. So she said, "I have to call my mum and reassure her about me." This is because when what happened, she called the emergency number that he had put in, which was her mum's number, so she wanted to reassure her that she was fine. But what our heroine still knows now is that he also put his number in the emergency box, so he came running to her with his hair tied back, and they did not even want to expose him. When she knew this, she hugged him and told him that she was afraid of what happened and did not know what would have happened to her. She kept crying because she was afraid to sleep and dream nightmares, so he said to her, "I am with you and I will never leave you." His words scared her because she was afraid of getting used to him, and if she got used to it, she would depend on him and her face. So she said to him, "No, the words that make a person feel that he has support and then he collapses in the end." So honestly, her words were going to make him confess the whole truth to her and make her understand that he admires her and that she can depend on him whenever she wants. But he changed his mind and said not to shock her, but rather made her understand that as long as they live together, protecting her is his responsibility, and as long as he is with her, she should not be afraid or worried about anything. So she kept holding on to him, literally out of fear. He would go right, she would go right, he would go left, she would go left, to the point that he kept carrying her, and in the end, she did not sleep except with him beside her, and she told him that in this difficult moment, she thought that no one would catch up, and she felt terribly lost. But when she found him entering her like Superman, she felt that heroes do not have to be supernatural, and the most important thing is that she did not come out alone, but rather she came out dear and precious to someone. And he said, "What is it after all this talk that she tells him we are friends? Or seriously, Yanan is friends. I mean, look, even if she thinks of him as just a dear brother, he sees her in a different way. Secondly, because these are not actions or looks that one sees him proposing at all, and his fear for her is the fear of one who truly loves." Anyway, the next day, our daughter went to meet Shaw at his photo shoot for an interview that he did not intend to do. As long as he was filming, she was sitting far away watching him. She was very surprised why every time she saw him, she remembered him. Even if they both looked the same, how did he give her the same spirit? While she was sitting, I also did not bother her fiancé. How did he come or enter the photo shoot in what capacity? But he kept telling her, "Get rid of your husband if that's the case. Ignore him and come marry me. Your mother will love me. It's normal." She told him, "It was in my eyes, but we do not sell tomatoes here, and I am fine with my new life. You know that my marriage to him will be this way and that, just as my marriage to you was also going to be this way and that, so it is not a competition. Don't make a big deal out of it." When she was talking to him, girls, we stopped calling her as if she did not respond to him. He said, "She ignored me." The two characters, praise be to God, and whoever finds his loved ones forgets his friends. After this ex left, he immediately called her and she ran out without saying a word. After that, she sent him a message in which she told him his location and said to him, "If I don't call you within half an hour, come to me at this address." He followed her without thinking. At that moment, Tata, her mother's husband, had beaten her mother and was continuing with her because he is a man who deserves to be dragged to court. So our hero did his duty and beat him and left. So it was natural that when she saw Shaw present and also beating the man, she would ask him how he got here and how he knew that there was a problem. He said to her, "If he called me and told me, I would come to you immediately." After the problem was resolved and he took her to her house, which was technically their house, she was talking all the way about if and how honorable and generous he was. The boy was confused and kept worrying and afraid of what she would do to him when she knew the truth, or between you and me, he was afraid. worried. She left him, but a part of him was very happy that she was talking about him in such a sweet way, and this is what made it easier for him. Written by What You Do Not Know, My Dears, that Nayan started to drag him gently, meaning she asked him, "I wonder if my dear husband is in a relationship or not. Does he love me or not?" So he said to her, "By God, I have never loved a woman in the world except my mother." She loved the subject and said from within herself, "God willing, I will have a share and take the side of my mother-in-law." So she did not hesitate at all and offered to take him out together, and she invited him, meaning in exchange for his generosity with her. That day, he could not stand himself, and he was telling his secretary that he was really into this game and that he would not continue to laugh at her and his mother for long, nor would he stop this farce. Do you think he stopped her simply? No, because he is very sensitive. He will not be able to break the heart of our heroine and his mother. He came in chic and brought a great bouquet of flowers, took off his suit, put on casual clothes, and was on his way to the restaurant where she was waiting for him. But at that time, he was shocked and knew that his escape room was on fire, so he quickly went to see this disaster, and unfortunately, he was injured in the fire, but it was a minor injury, so don't worry. He only has a small problem, which is that if he won't be able to meet Nayan in the restaurant, she had already understood that he would be late when she found him leaving her a message. But while she was waiting for her manager, he called her and told her that Shaw's work was on fire and he is in the hospital and she has to visit him tomorrow. She was very worried and understood that Layla was late. She quickly ran to the hospital to check on Shaw, and at that moment, our hero was preparing to leave the hospital, even though he was worried about the fire because he didn't want to leave her waiting in the restaurant. But as soon as he went out and found her coming towards him, he quickly went in to change his clothes and fix his hair. But as soon as he found her inside, eager for him, he reassured her and said to her, "Bye you." So she left the hospital, confused. There is nothing more strange than how she was very worried about Shaw, and at the same time, when she read Law's last message and knew that he was going to visit his brother in the hospital to compensate her for the outing, she was happy again, and she no longer understood herself or who she was for. She started avoiding him, not talking to him or dealing with him because she didn't know her head from her toes. He immediately understood her anger, and his secretary told him that she loved him like Cashew. He said that he had to test her and make sure for himself that she loved him and didn't love a copy of his brother. When she met him at work, her body language was saying that she was attracted to him, so he said that he would put her in a very bad situation and ask her to help him choose a gift for his brother's birthday, who is her husband. She didn't sleep all night. What is it about Shawi that she thinks about all the time? He wants her to choose a gift for his brother, who she also doesn't know if she loves him or not. She said, "Oh God, either take me or find a solution for me in what I a." In it, from her despair, she went and met the ex and said to him, "Give me from your experiences and tell me if you feel that you love two people, make sure which one you love." He said to her, "What you saw first," and she saw Shawi first, so the answer is Shaw, who, by the way, she went out with, and they went to choose a gift, if only in the end they didn't find anything good because he didn't like it. After they finished and went to sit in a cafe, and he told her that he knows everything and that her marriage to his brother is fixed. He asked her if she loved him, and she got nervous and said to him, "Yes, I love if," because he didn't find a more appropriate answer. He said to her, "Well, may God make you happy." He went to his mother and visited her. He found her sewing a sweater for Lou for his birthday, and Shaw doesn't have any family to ask about him. The boy asked her, "I wonder, Mama, if he stayed happy, would you be happy?" She told him, "Lotto, for his life, was sick and lived in hospitals, so I helped him. Of course, I care." Here Shawi decided to give the happiness he dreamed of to his brother Law, and to continue the charade, since everyone was thinking about nothing but Law. As for her, she was still unable to decide on her position until she went with her mother to buy a fish. She was confused about whether to get the orange one that looked like him or the black one that looked like Shaw. Mama Taha told her to bring them both, but our heroine knew that at this moment she wasn't choosing one fish as much as she was choosing who she would love. When she told her mother about her friend's problem that all heroines tell their mothers about, and that poor thing, she loved two people and didn't know who to choose, her mother understood immediately that talking about her daughter was forbidden, the chaste man. She said to her, "No, Hoop, Hoop, oh my dear, are we going to disappoint disappoint you or what? Consider me taking back my words. She only has one fish to bring, and just as one fish is enough for one man, it is enough for him too. Or what do you think? I'll tell you what she and he think. He started to cut himself off. Life, even his novels, which he loved his whole life, he decided to throw them away, because if he didn't love her, and the player who didn't love her and loved her, he brought her and put her on his desk, and when she went and did the interview as if he was sure, and when she left his office, he made a promise to himself that he would never meet her again with glasses or Vaseline, and he would get out of her life. So when she returned home, she celebrated his birthday with Lou, and from that moment she decided that she would not love anyone but her husband, who was there with her in her crises. And the rules say that she should not think of any man other than him, so she confessed to him right away that she loved him and wanted to stay with him, and was very happy with their new life, and that she finally had support. So he could not believe he heard those two words and started playing music for her and singing in celebration of her sweet words. So she went to him while he was playing his bass guitar once, as if she was assuring him and assuring herself that she did not intend to love anyone other than him. And he and I, we were shocked by her behavior, but what was certain was that it came from her heart. As for him, he discovered that he intended to do whatever he wanted. Shaw said that he would travel abroad to study in order to disappear completely, and thus he could continue his life. However, she felt that the matter was okay with him, Sika, as he would be with Nian in any case. But luck was not on his side, because when she knew that he would not publish their interview, she went to his office and asked him why and why. He was doing all of this to make her cut off her relationship with him and forget his existence. He told her, "This is my decision. I hope we never meet again and forget any business between us." She nodded and walked, but while she was at the door, she heard the sound of his mobile phone ringing. I wonder what her husband's mobile phone was doing in his brother's drawer, forgetting that they were close together. It is strange that he found himself embarrassed. He gave her the mobile phone and told her, "Give it to your husband." She actually took it, and when she returned home at night, she gave it to him, and she learned from him that he and his brother had become closer to each other. Recently, that's why they started meeting, and by chance she forgot about him, but inside she couldn't believe it, and a voice kept telling her that a game was being played and something wasn't right, and that the two of them were one. So she said to test it and come by surprise and do something to him that would last so he wouldn't be able to escape. In addition, his finger was still hurt, so if his brother was also hurt and took the same bite, her suspicions would be confirmed. So she went to his brother in the escape room and insisted on going in with him again, and there she was misunderstood when she tried to make him take off his shirt by force so she could see the bite and make sure that they were one person. But he didn't allow her and turned the tables on her and said to her, "You are my brother's wife, and what you are doing is wrong." But the only thing that mattered to her was that she knew the truth, and unfortunately she didn't make it because they knew that his mother was collapsing in the hospital and was saying, "I will take care of you if you bring me a bag." She took her and went out to the hospital, and they sat and greeted his mother and said to her, "We will bring him to you." And at that time he was lazy and insisted that he come with her to the house to bring him to him. And all the way she felt that he was nervous, as if he was afraid of being discovered, and she kept saying to him, "If you are hiding something, my dear, tell him." And he said to her, "What am I hiding?" Then, when his secretary reached him, he did his duty and replied to her from his mobile as if he was a Lou, and made her understand that he was upstairs, and asked her to go buy some things so that Shawi would have time to go out and put on his Lou clothes. But what happened was that he fell into the evil of his deeds and found our heroine entering, and she was really shocked and did not speak and did not know how to respond. And she saw a man wearing Lou clothes, but he put gel in his hair and wore glasses. I mean, a nice mix between Lou and Shaw. So she said to him, "My heart was feeling, but now I do not know who you are. You look like Shaw, but your voice is Lou's voice, and I want my husband, and you have to bring him back to me or tell me who exactly you are." Do you think he spoke, or the wind kept staring at her? A little while later he left her crying and walked away. My dear, all that was bothering her was that from the beginning she had told him if he was hiding something, he should say it, and he was the one who insisted on coming out as a liar in front of her. Since then, he has not returned home, and she is alone, thinking about the old days and saying, "I wish he hadn't entered my life." But to be honest, he was watching her all the time, and when he found her falling off the motorcycle on her way to work, he went down to help her because his love is sensitive and his heart does not tolerate pain. fine, but she pushed him away and told him not to talk to her or meet her. He doesn't know the truth. Where did her ex come from? He took her and told me, "Sure, you have nothing to do with her anymore." On top of all of this, she cancelled her appointment. She was standing and watching everything that was happening, and I and your dear know when and why these two arrived at the location, but the director still wants you to be shocked. You would be shocked if his brother, who has been impersonating him since we started, turned out to have died a long time ago, and his death is a factor. He whispered to his mother a long time ago, and this is the reason for her attachment to him. So she told her all this to her mother and told her that she married him, believing he was someone else, and he turned out to be a liar, and Sadine is a liar. So God is sufficient for me, and he is the best disposer of affairs against him and against Uncle Tata, whom I was happy for. Our heroine, my dears, went to the cemetery to visit his brother and did not take into account the girl who was watching and filming him. But this is not the problem now. The real problem is that his mother is not able to accept him at all, and she does not say anything about him except if, meaning that even the day he decided to deal with her as if he is Shawky and try to prepare himself psychologically and confront her with the truth, she refused and told him that she wants an if, until our heroine sent him a message telling him to get his clothes and come get them. My dear, the boy was expelled from his mother and wife. No one could stand him or meet him in the whole series, so he said to complete it on his own and go get his clothes. A confrontation occurred between him and her, and he apologized to her for everything. This lie, but he told her that all his feelings towards her were real and his love for her was real. So she said to him, "Since you loved me, why did you lie to me and make me think that I love someone who does not exist in the world in the first place? You hurt me, and whoever loves someone does not hurt them, but what happened made me understand that I neither loved you nor loved him, and made him take off his wedding ring, and this was worse than all her words because she literally took away his last hope for them to get back together. And my dear, she sat all day drinking and crying and remembering her memories with him, and she realized at that moment that she loved all his personalities because she loved him as a whole with his faults and virtues. They celebrate him because she brought fuse, but in truth, it is not something to be happy about at all because they spread the story of our hero in the cemetery and spread the truth about his brother who was hiding it from everyone, and in the name of our heroine as well. The girl knew immediately that these were the deeds of Ghazi, so she tyrannically pulled her by the hair and beat her in the bathroom because of the disaster. What she did, and when the manager shook them, she told him that this article came out with a signature, but it was changed without her seeing it, and I will bring evidence that says it is not mine. But all of this was not important now because she had to go to the hospital to check on his mother. Did she know something and collapse or not? But thank God she found him telling her that his mother was fine and did not know anything, and that he was also certain that it was impossible for her to be the one who spread the news. She told him, "You put my heart at ease, but you are the one who will never rest as long as you are acting like your brother, because this way you are losing your life and wasting your youth while you are living the life of a dead person. Is this pleasing to anyone? It does not please me personally. I see you like this in the middle of his surrender to the life that he sees as fate and destined to die." She saw his mother in the picture taken of him and understood that she was in the cemetery. It is very clear that he also saw her in the picture and knew that she knew that his brother was dead and was making fun of Fenian. She said, "I am right. She is suffocated by him and does not forgive him for his books, but he is a poor victim and does not deserve to waste his life while he lives under another name." She went to his mother and confronted her with the picture. The lady could not deny that she knows and understands that her son is dead and that she is not tired and is denying anything. The whole story is that she loves Shaw's acting, and he is able to make her feel that her son, who took the disease from her lap early, is still alive. So why deprive herself of this? Shaw is strong and can bear it, but she is weak and did not believe that her son is alive. Nyan hears this nonsense and keeps quiet. If I were in her place, I would not keep quiet. I gave her a few words and she deserved it, and told her that she is a selfish woman who, in order to make up for being deprived of her son who died, kills another while he is alive. She is supposed to be ashamed of herself. The lady was really ashamed when she knew that he knows that she is fooling around and continues with her in the acting. She no longer knows how to raise her eyes to Nyan's eyes, but she left her anyway. She went out to confront him that he he also knew that his mother was acting and was fooling around and blamed him for his surrender and told him that he has the right to live in his own name and life, not in his own name or someone else's life. So two things happened. The first thing is that she exposed his sister and showed that she published the article without permission, and our hero will ask for compensation. That is, she brought disaster to the magazine and the manager fired her. The second thing is that Shawi finally apologized to him for receiving her and for everything she did, and made him understand that she loves him too, just as she loves his brother exactly. But because he was tired, he took a little extra attention from her. In addition, she did not know how to deal with our hero, who does not know how to express his feelings, and she saw that running away from him and his problem was the safest solution. She would see herself as a failed mother, so she apologized to him and gave him the scarf she was making in the loo and told him that it was his destiny, and immediately it was his destiny. Thank God the two of them reconciled and became lovers. He only had one problem left, which was how to bring back Nian, who didn't intend to come back to him. So as soon as he knew that there was a gathering for their batch, he went there immediately. It would be a chance to see her and talk to her, but when he went, he found that she had come and left before he arrived. However, one of their colleagues gave him the answer that he had written to her a long time ago and published it. They understood that a silly person from their batch was the one who stole the answer and published it. But what is the sweet thing now? Ad N Shaw. He focused on the answer and found that she had replied to him from that time and wrote to him that she also loved him. From the moment his eyes fell on her words, he was sure that with his insistence he would be able to change everything and bring her back to him. But at that time, she was already with her ex, who didn't want to remain an ex. He kept nagging her to give him a chance. Maybe she really loved him, but we stopped him from getting in the middle all at once. He still didn't know how he came out like a shadow in a hurry all at once, but he said that he didn't like this, and no one. He will take a chance here, unlike me, and from that day on, he has been stuck in the street, stuck to her at work, waiting for her to forgive him and give him a chance. He even knew how to soften her heart towards him and let her in so that he wouldn't walk in the rain. The next day, she was forced to go down to meet her favorite writer to do an interview with him, who, by the way, is his driver, but he published his novels under a pseudonym. But the driver doesn't do interviews. He takes her to the book kiosk that she used to go to with Shaw during school days, so that she finds Shaw himself there, and he tells her that 6 years ago on this day, he wrote her a beautiful letter confessing his love to her, but he was a coward and didn't say it to her face. But now he is a brave man who won't be ashamed of his love or himself, because if he had loved himself from the beginning, he wouldn't have chosen to live as himself, and he would have strengthened himself more than that. But the moral is in the endings, and today he came and asked her to give him a second chance to prove himself to her, like Shaw, who is in life I love, but her. You are waiting for me to say that she replied and said what? Of course she agreed, guys. Personally, if I were in her place, I wouldn't wait for him to finish his words, and I would agree normally. Her agreement is a new joy from the beginning, and her groom actually became Shaw, not If. He also exposed himself and read her his answer long ago into the microphone in a loud voice like the artist Ahmed Flukes in the movie Best Friends. In addition, he turned out to be very supportive and let her travel to complete her studies abroad, even though she would miss him a lot. Seconds. She didn't have time to miss him at all, because after that, he traveled to her and told her that he could not bear her absence and let us both stay abroad like this. It is enough for us to be together. You and I are sure that she chose correctly. Congratulations. May God increase the happy endings. If you liked the ending of today's summary, don't forget to tell us your opinion about it. I will not advise you, of course. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell so you don't miss the sweet summaries. Peace.